Good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another round of the FEG PC Truck Series. Today, we're at the virtual Texas Motor Speedway, where it's going to be a great race around the 1.46-mile hot Texas sun. As always, on behalf of FEGPC.net, as well as Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name is James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. As right now, a single car qualifying is underway. Let's take a look and see what your favorite driver is doing as we're checking out James Kaufman in the number 19 machine. Looks like about 20 or 25 drivers making their way out today. And at the end of qualifying, we're going to have one driver, as requested by the fans, hop into the booth and join us here today. But we'll keep you in the loop on that one. We don't want to spoil any surprises here. Right now, it's Michael J. Johnson put it on top of pole in the number 39 machine. But let's see who's going to be able to best Johnson, who has a 30.44. Johnson, he's about 0.8 faster than second runner-up Jeremy Coors and the number 97. Matt Lee also out on track in the 04 machine. Tristan Bailey, the number 24 Chevrolet, clicks off a 34.9. Good enough for second here today. And as qualifying is rolling, let's go ahead and get Tyler Millette up in the booth. Tyler, how did qualifying go out there for you today?
It definitely went better than I expected. This is one of our first times taking the truck out to Texas, and I feel like we're done pretty decent for what little practice we was able to get in.
I mean, not a bad qualifying. You put the number 27 Ford F-150 up into 10th in qualifying. Is there anything you're going to try and change for tonight's race, or maybe make any adjustments to the driving before you go out there for tonight's main event?
We're definitely going to try to take care of those tires. We know about 15 laps in, we started losing a lot of drop-off, started wanting to push, so we're going to try to take a little bit better care of them there.
And Tyler, for both myself and the fans at home, what's the fuel stops looking tonight? What do you think you're gonna see some guys make green flag pit stops once they come in?
I think we're going to be looking probably about a little over 20 laps, hopefully if it goes green. If we see a lot of cautions, we're definitely going to see people topping off. Try to make as few pit stops as possible during the green, but I think we're going to have some good racing tonight by the looks of it.
Well, Tyler, I know you got a lot of fans tuning in here today, cheering you on. Who would you like to give a quick shout-out to before we let you go as this race gets ready to fire up?
First and foremost, I'd like to thank all my supporters. I've got my guys I work with over at the fire department, the shoe crew, turn up in force. I'd like to thank my fiance for supporting me through all this. And I'd also like to thank my sponsor, Cannaboss, because without that, I couldn't have half the gear that I've had.
Well, Tyler, we wish you the best of luck out there. We'll let you get on the grid, but thank you for your time and good luck tonight.
Thank you so much, James.
My pleasure, my friend. That was Tyler Millette, the number 27 machine, who's going to come out here today, a newcomer to the FEG PC Truck Series. But let's go ahead and take a look at tonight's grid and see where your favorite drivers are going to be at. Starting on pole, Michael J. Johnson in the 39. Cody McCauley in the 62 starting second. Tristan Bailey in the number 24 machine starting third. Jeremy Coors in the 97 starting fourth. Brad Herman in the number 85 machine starting fifth. Cale Seaman in the 17 starting sixth. We've got Christopher Carter in the number 25 starting seventh. Adam Schoen in the 65 starting eighth. Donald Ray starting ninth in the number 5 machine. Jeffrey Radke in the 51 starting 10th. Eric Parks in the number 4 starting 11th. Tyler Millette getting a lot of love from the fans here today in the number 27. He will be 12th on tonight's grid. Fan favorite Jay Dargett in the number 57 starting 13th. Matthew Curry in the number 54. He will be starting 14th here today. And then we've also got John Mullahan in the number 21 starting 15th. Chad Ross in the 38 starting 16th. John Olette in the 062 starting 17th. Jared Forbes in the 73 starting 18th. Stephen Page in the number 1 will be starting 19th. James Kaufman in the 19 starting 20th. Brandon Barber in the number 23 starting 21st. Buddy Pitts in the 26 starting 22nd. Matt Lee in the 04 didn't have a great qualifying. He'll be starting 23rd. Joe Burgess in the 20 machine starting 24th on tonight's grid. Cycle it back just one more time. We've got Martin in the 67 starting 25th. And Kenneth McCullough Jr., the Georgia favorite. And he'll be rounding out our 26 grid of drivers here today. As we're going to roll them out, it'll be Johnson and McCauley on the front row. And look at this fan favorite, Jay Dargert, running a new paint scheme here in the 57 machine. See if we can get a good look at that one, what that may be. Jay running his new paint livery in support of his new business here today. That is a clean looking truck. We're going to get them racked up double file. It's going to be 100 laps to go here at Texas. What are we going to see? Are we going to see the usual green flag runs, or is the beginning of the night going to have a little bit of carnage as the pace car comes in? And it's time to go racing here at Texas. Johnson gets a great launch. McCauley's going to follow in tow early on. As up front, Tristan Bailey trying to get a move around McCauley. And Brad Herman's also going to try and make his way through as well. Herman and the 97 of Jeremy Coors going side by side. Up front, McCauley still stalking Johnson early on in the run. And these two race leaders kind of checking out here. As you can see, they've already got about a 1 second gap over third place Tristan Bailey, the number 24 machine. We'll pan it back to Bailey, Herman, Coors, Carter, all in the mix here in the top 5. As Herman and Coors still going side by side. Coors not able to get in the group he wants as they go right side by side, door to door through 1 and 2. Everybody able to hold on to it here today. If we go green, we're expecting a one-stop race here today. But if we go green is a big question and not necessarily a given. Now, historically, we do see the caution if it's going to come out early on. We're going to go a little bit further back to Jay Dargert, the 57 machine, and behind Dargert, a swarm of drivers trying to find a groove. Dargert running 12th on track here today in the newly painted number 57 Chevrolet. He's trying to chase down Adam Schoen to pick up that 11th place spot. Schoen down 3 spots in his number 65 Ford F-150. But Dargert knows he's got to go because right behind him you've got John Mullahan, John Olette, Chad Ross. A lot of very fast drivers here today. All trying to get that top spot. Up front, McCauley is taking over the race lead from Michael J. Johnson. Johnson will follow in suit for just a little while. So as you heard Mollett say in the pre-race interview, these guys have about 10 laps where they can really push on these tires before the time and the traction starts to fall off. So once you get outside that 10-lap window, it gets a little bit tougher to make any big moves. And you may see the drivers get into a groove and try and get their first green flag pit stop of the night. Now historically, that's not always the case as these guys are bumping and grinding all the way around the circuit through the duration of the event. And while we're getting warmed up on track and in the booth, I'd like to thank all of our fans, friends, and family that tune in week and out, supporting your favorite drivers, supporting your favorite league, and possibly even one of your favorite broadcasters. And I've got to tell you, we harp on it week in and week out, but let me tell you, these racers, they go back through and they watch the broadcast if they already don't have it live, either on a separate screen or possibly they on their phone. And they notice every week who's out here cheering them on and willing them to go just a little bit faster, so they definitely appreciate it. We've got a bunch of folks tuning in here tonight, supporting their drivers, and we truly, truly appreciate the time you guys spend with us every week. Chad Ross, John Ouellette going side by side. Dargett is going to possibly get squeezed 3 wide here. Keep it on the left side of your screen. That's Jay Dargett, number 57 machine. He's got Chad Ross, John Ouellette charging up behind him, as well as Matt Lee in the number 4 machine. Lee, with a terrible qualifying run here today, has worked his way up 8 spots in the 04. But that is going to be rough for Matt Lee. Now, as a reminder, last week at Talladega, it was Jeremy Coors picking up a win. And prior to that, Matt Lee had 2 wins in a row. Then it was Cody McCauley had 2 wins in a row. So, again, a lot of fast drivers. But Lee's going to have to work hard to catch back up to McCauley, who is currently running 2nd on track. Now, as far as the points goes, it's Michael J. Johnson out front, Cody McCauley 2nd, Matthew Lee in 3rd, Tristan Bailey 4th, and Eric Parks rounding out our top 5 in the points chase for segment 3 of the FEG PC Truck Series. As now Lee is going to try and get by Chad Ross in the black and blue number 38. Ross up 3 spots, Lee up 9 spots. Great racing all across the track, as this is the battle for 13th, as Lee and Ross still going side by side. Just ahead of those 2 drivers, you got Adam Schoen and John Mullahan running 12th and 11th. Matthew Lee trying to work the side draft on Ross. These guys have to be very careful not to make any mistakes early on in the event. Nobody wants a wadded up race car, and a very low incident limit for these drivers here today. I believe it's usually about a 13-point incident limit. Excuse me, it's 11-point incident limit here today. They do have 1 fast repair, 1 get out of jail free card if they do wad up their machinery, but again, nobody wants to use that early on into a run. We're watching Jeremy Coors, the number 97 machine. He's getting chased by Brad Herman in the number 85. Meanwhile, Coors also trying to catch up to Tristan Bailey, the number 24 machine. Now, as it sits currently, everyone in the top 5 is in the same running order in which they started here today. But what's going on up front? McCauley looking for the race lead once more, trying to squeeze around Michael J. Johnson. And now McCauley will once again take over the lead from Johnson and possibly get into the lap lead here at Texas. As less than 0.3 of a second is separating your top 3 drivers here. They're trying to link up nose to tail, as Johnson has a bit of a tail wiggle coming out of turn 4. But what I would expect these top 3 drivers to do is link up bumper to bumper, try and get a gap over Coors and Herman running 4th and 5th. But the top 3 drivers maybe not getting the breakaway they wanted. They've only got about a 0.4 second of a gap between Bailey in 3rd, Coors in 4th. Eric Parks running 9th, up 2 spots so far here today. He's trying to get a little bit closer to Jeffrey Radke's number 51 Toyota Tundra. As right now, our hardest charger on track is Matt Lee in the 04 machine. Lee is up 11 positions early on tonight, and possibly trying to get another one as he squeezes the inside of Donald Ray. Ray, the number 5 machine on the outside line. Lee in the 04 on the inside. Lee seems to make it stick pretty well. Now trying to catch up to Mullahan in the number 21 machine. Back up front, Michael J. Johnson, Tristan Bailey trading spots. Johnson works his way back into second. Bailey unable to make the maneuver stick here. Now these guys are running with a 65% of fuel allotment here at Texas. So not running the full-blown fuel tanks that these Gander Mountain trucks normally have. Slightly abbreviated fuel sections that possibly lend themselves to a little bit better strategy. As our top 3 drivers of McCauley, Johnson, and Bailey still trying to iron out the pecking order. McCauley still leading the field around, closely chased by Johnson and Bailey. But I'm interested to see if Coors and Herman can whittle away at the gap the top 3 have. And lap time's already starting to fall off as the tire wear really comes in. The fastest lap from your race leader, Cody McCauley, was a 30.44. His last time by a 31.77. So the tires are going to be the big name of the game here today. And again, we got to keep an eye on Matt Lee, who's up 13 spots, worked his way inside the top 10 in the 04. Those are big strides, but will he have the tires at the end of this to make up more ground? Or are we going to see a dark horse who's maybe already saving some tires here that may make a late race run and kind of surprise some people? Checking in on Brad Herman, the number 85 machine, just inside the top 5. He's about a half second behind 4th place Jeremy Coors. About 4/10 ahead of Christopher Carter and the number 25 machine. And it looks like the top 6 drivers have really broken away from the field. You're looking at the number 25 machine of Carter. And he's about 2.75 seconds ahead of 7th place and gaining ground. So we've got 2 very distinct groups of drivers here. We try and grab a wide angle shot of Cale Seaman, the number 17 machine. Seaman kind of in no man's land right now. He's got about a 1.2 second gap over 8th place Eric Parks. He's about 3 seconds back from Christopher Carter running 6th. So that is going to make it very, very difficult for these top 10 drivers to maybe catch up to the group of the top 6 we were talking about and get a run. Now it's all going to depend on what happens if we get that green flag stop as well. With the field stretched out, we are less likely to have a caution, but that's never stopped racers before from making a mistake and sending a truck out in the wall, especially as the truck's really starting to tighten up. You'll hear these drivers back up their entry points into turns 1 and 3 for several reasons. A, to save tires, and B, just because the tires won't have the grip that late in the run. As already, again, these drivers about 1.5 seconds off their fastest lap of the race. We're going to pull up the live timing and scoring tower left side of your screen to see where your favorite driver is at on the circuit. We're checking in on Eric Parks in the number 4 machine. Parks is up 3 spots up into 8th in the number 4. And behind Parks, you've got your hard charger of the race, Matt Lee in the 04 machine. Lee up 14 spots. Not sure what happened to Lee today where he had such a rough qualifying. That's very unlike Lee in the 04. But that's why they call it racing and not collecting a paycheck. You have good nights, you have bad nights, and sometimes you just have all right nights. Still 26 drivers on track on the lead lap. As we check back in on your race leader, Cody McCauley, the number 62 machine. And it should not take long as you see the first sign of lap traffic ahead of McCauley down the backstretch. Donald Ray and Tyler Millette both come down pit lane on lap 31, maybe for a bit of an undercut. They will most likely take 4 fresh Goodyears and a full tank of gas. As well as your race leader McCauley is going to come in. Johnson and Bailey stay out, as well as Coors and Herman, and Christopher Carter as well. So the pit window officially opening up around lap 30 for most of the competitors. And we're going to see who's going to squeeze it out a little bit further. So as it sits right now, it's looking like a 2-stop race for most of the competition. Possibly a 3-stop if there is no fuel saving to be had. I believe these guys can make it a 2-stop race, as a large portion of the field is in. Seaman, Carter, Ross, Dargert, Page, Lee, Forbes, Curry, all in pit road. The top 5 still staying out, as now Bailey, Herman, Coors, Johnson. Let's see if McCullough comes in as well in the 03 machine. Yes, McCullough will come in. That should put your race leaders McCauley once more in the number 62 machine. He will have over a 5-second advantage over Christopher Carter. So looking at the pit lane times, looks like every single one of our drivers took 4 fresh Goodyears, a full tank of gas. So we'll expect to see the field come in. The next fuel window will be around lap 60 to 70. That's when a large portion of the field will come back through. And they should be able to make it till the end there. And at a field of 26 drivers, does not look like any speeding penalties were awarded as well. So well done to the guys. Getting through that cycle nice and clean. So now it's McCauley, Bailey, Coors, Herman, and Lee has somehow worked his way inside the top 5, but he's got a lot of company. As here comes Herman, here comes Parks, here comes Carter. chasing the 04 machine. Now all these guys are pretty much on the same tire window here. As Lee is trying to catch up to Jeremy Kors. Now your race leader, Cody McCauley, he's got a massive 8.5 second advantage over the rest of the field. And you've got this pack of drivers where it's Bailey, Kors, Lee, Parks, Herman, Carter, all in a big pack here. As you're on board with Jeremy Kors, number 97 machine. Going to be interesting to see if this freight train of drivers tries to work together to catch up to McCauley, or if they're going to spend too much time battling, and that will allow your race leader to get a whole lot of distance over the rest of the field here. As again, McCauley, he's about 9 seconds ahead over this massive swarm of drivers. Tristan Bailey, the number 24 machine, goes wide, allowing this freight train of drivers to come by. So now it is Kors, Lee, Parks leading this charge to try and catch up to Cody McCauley, your race leader, who is still 9.5 seconds ahead here today. McCauley with a bunch of clean air on the front of his number 62 Toyota Tundra. Not having any problems or worries, and still 9.6 seconds ahead of Kors. We're going to go on board with Matt Lee in the 04 machine. He's up 20 spots, making his way into third here today. Now, I can't lie to you guys at home. I'm surprised at how far McCauley's been able to stretch the lead early on here today. After that first fuel window closed for these drivers. Good to see the Salyers family tuning in today. Jacob and Sean. Chris Burton's here, Ben Cook. Our friends at Spino Racing, Kevin Webb, Hassunet, I hope I said that right. Country Chick, everybody here tonight supporting their drivers, very well appreciated. Request, we're going on board briefly with Tyler Millette, number 27 Ford F-150. Millette down 4 spots from where he started tonight, currently 16th on track. I've been corrected, it's just Haas, not Haas. Got it! Millette doing his best to catch up to Stephen Page as the number 1 machine. But Millette in her tough spot here as he has no aero assistance to try and bridge the gap. As we go just ahead of him, that is the 3-truck battle of John Ouellette, Jay Dargert, and Stephen Page. All in a battle for 13th here today. We've got Trenton here. We've got Derek Meek as well. Cheering on their good friend Tyler Millette, number 27 machine. Now Dargert, number 57 machine, he is down 1 spot from where he started. Just ahead of him is John Ouellette, who is up 4 spots early on tonight. Other notable battles on track is the battle for 8th between John Mullahan and Jeffrey Radke. Mullahan about 4/10 ahead of Radke. As we get ready to approach the halfway mark of today's race. It is still McCauley out front, Coors second, Matt Lee third, Parks fourth, Johnson rounding out the top 5 here today. As we've got also a 3-truck battle for the 5th place spot. Johnson currently 5th, Siemens 6th, Carter 7th, all within about 5 to 6 tenths of each other. Now most of these drivers came around the lap 31 to 32 mark, so they're already feeling the effects of the tire wear. As Siemens last time by was at 31.35, a little bit less than a second off of his fastest lap of the race. We just caught, I believe it was Chad Ross, got shuffled out of position by Brad Herman. So Herman, the number 85 machine, will yield the position, take the position from Chad Ross in the 38. Now Ross still having a good race. He's up 4 spots from where he started. Jeremy Coors still running second. He's whittled away at that gap that Cody McCauley has out front ever so slightly as he navigates lap traffic with Kenneth McCullough Jr. Matt Lee still in tow with Coors. He will get slightly edged out by McCullough. But they've gotten that gap down to your wrist leader at about 8.5 seconds. I can't believe how far McCauley is able to stretch the legs in that Toyota Tundra number 62 machine here today. And as we click off to our halfway mark, we're going to run a quick commercial break, but we'll keep a camera pointed at the action. Don't go anywhere, as this is quite the race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And we are back to the action, watching the battle between Johnson and Parks unfold. This is the battle for 4th on track. Johnson currently running 5th, down 4 spots from where he started. Parks is up 7 spots so far. Adam Schoen comes down pit road a little bit early on lap 53. Schoen shows a lap down already, number 65 machine. Jeremy Coors, Matt Lee still running nose to tail, trying to catch up to that gap that McCauley holds on the field, but McCauley still about 9 seconds. An absolute massive lead for the halfway mark here today. Coors last time by a 32.12 as well as Matt Lee. Meanwhile, your race leader McCauley still clicking off 32 flats up front. Schoen comes out of pit lane after grabbing 4 more tires and a tank of gas, trying to get things moving in the right direction here today. Other notable battles is Tristan Bailey and Brad Herman, as well as Johnson and Parks. Johnson's going to make his way around Parks. Who's going to be able to hold it going into turn 1 is Johnson riding the inside line. Parks is going to try and go for the over-under move. Not able to get the momentum down the backstretch quite yet. He will stay on the rear bumper of Johnson. Maybe taking a peek into turn 3. As Johnson stretches his legs ever so slightly, getting about a 3/10 advantage over Parks. Other notable races, Brad Herman feeling the pressure from, trying to pressure Cale Seaman, number 17 machine. Herman and the number 85. Seaman and the number 17 machine. Look at this, Herman's gonna look at the inside line. Can he make it stick? That's a tough move to make as the tire wear comes into play. These trucks tighten up so much. It gets very difficult to make any moves. But Herman will make it stick at this point in the tire wear. Now we should be expecting the fuel window to open up, as we saw a lot of drivers start their pit cycle on lap 30. I think a large portion of the field you'll see coming around probably about lap 63 to 64, I think, is when we're going to see a lot of the guys enter their fuel window. As who was that just sent on the outside? I think that was lap traffic avoiding Johnson and Bailey. Not much change in the top 5 here. Tyler Millette, number 27 machine, comes down pit road on lap 60. Now, I'd imagine if they're coming on lap 60, that they're going to have to make at least one more stop here today. We haven't seen anybody stretch it out to 40 laps on a tank of gas yet. So some of the drivers may be planning on a 3-stop race here today. Tristan Bailey still trying to make moves as far as he can. And we are well past the halfway mark. Who's going to be the next big mover and who's going to be one of the first of the top 5 to come down pit road? Now, Cody McCauley came in on lap 31, Coors 33, Lee on lap 32 is when they initiated their pit cycle. As we're going to check back into McCauley. Parks and Mullahan come down pit road for their scheduled stop. McCauley still seems to be stretching his legs, showing no sign of coming in yet. And there's the commentator skirmisher. As we say that, McCauley makes his way down pit road on lap 64. What is Coors and Lee going to do? Because they are linked up nose to tail. I don't think they're going to leave each other alone here. And they are not. They're going to stay up, try and get themselves a lap ahead of McCauley. Now, how is this race of pit strategy gonna pan out? As McCauley still gonna stay on the lead lap here. Seaman, Carter, Radke all come down pit road. No, McCauley will go down a lap as Jeremy Coors makes his way around. McCauley right behind your race leaders of Coors and Lee. As now Coors and Lee come down pit road, that's going to show Johnson as your new race leader. The last time he boxed was on lap 33, as well as Brad Herman now showing in second. They're going to stretch out that fuel window as long as they possibly can. And now Johnson will come in. Herman stays out. And McCauley will be about 25 seconds back from your race leader. I'd imagine Herman will come in this time by to avoid running out of go-go juice in that number 85 Chevrolet. And oh no, Herman has binned it coming into pit road. Herman with a huge upset in the number 85 machine. Big, big problems. We're going to take another look at that because that was a relatively great save. Watch Herman, the number 85 machine. With a late entry, does he lock it up? Yes, locks it up, sends it careening around. That will thankfully not bring out the yellow, but I believe Herman will most likely get an unsafe pit entry there. And that could be it for the number 85 machine. With an unfortunate mistake on pit road, costing him what could be the race. And that is the exciting part about long green flag runs. You have to be able to do the go fast and turn left part as well as the slow down and hit a little square part. And one of my favorite things is watching these green flag races, allowing these drivers to show their ability both on and off the track. Cody McCauley has it dialed in here today. He's about 12 seconds ahead of Matt Lees in second. After that pit cycle, Lee came out one spot ahead of Jeremy Coors, working his way up into second, so he's up 21 spots in the 04 machine. Now it'll be Jeremy Coors' time to push his teammate Matt Lee around the circuit. Both drivers are going to have to work hard though with only 29 laps left to go. Cody McCauley with a massive 11.8 second lead. Lee hops out of the draft there, not sure if he had a moment. But the longer Coors and Lee stay unlinked up, the tougher it's going to be for them to catch up to McCauley. As Lee comes back down pit road for some reason. Lee on lap 72 comes down the pit. Lee in the pits for 5.5 seconds. Is he going for a massive undercut here, splashing some fuel in the tank to get out there and run till the end? Does he know something we don't know? McCauley, who came in on lap 64, he will have to go 36 laps under green flag conditions to make it to the end. We haven't seen anybody do more than 34 laps here today. Tyler Millette, the number 27, getting a whole lot of support from the fans. He is up 6 spots, up into 6th place. Now Millette, again, one of those drivers that came in very early, lap 59. I would go under the assumption here he's going to be running a 3-stop strategy. Meanwhile, you've got guys such as Jeremy Coors running 2nd, Michael Johnson running 4th, and possibly Tristan Bailey, number 24, running 7th. They all came around lap 66, 67. They may be able to make it all the way in on a tank of gas, but it is going to be very, very close for your race leader, Cody McCauley, who does not appear to be slowing down here today. And all that fuel saving for naught as we have our first yellow flag. And that is going to really hurt the likes of several drivers who find themselves down a lap here. Let's take a look and see what happened to Brandon Barber. Barber in the number 23 Ford F-150. Showing as 66, so probably not running the right transponder here today. What happens? He sends it up the inside of Dargert, gets in the number 57, sends Dargert careening around, and they still make contact, but Dargert's going to come out a little bit better there as Barber glues the outside wall, smokes the engine, lets all the magical smoke out, and that will be our first caution of the night. And that's going to only have 11 drivers on the lead lap here. So that will be our first caution of the night. With about 25 laps left to go, I'd imagine we're going to see everybody coming in here. Cody McCauley, who might have been a little bit short on fuel, that will be a godsend for the number 62 Toyota Tundra. Let's see, I would imagine that he takes 4 tires since he's already going to be putting himself down the running order. So it's McCauley, Seaman, Johnson, Ross, Millette, Carter, Ouellette, Dargert, Page, all coming down pit road. McCauley in and out in 7.2 seconds. So that means he either just took fuel or maybe 2 sets of tires here. Keep an eye on it. It appears nobody took 4 tires on this pit stop. Everybody in and out very quickly. And we will have 13 drivers on the lead lap. Matt Lee still finds himself down 1 lap. As you're going to see a large portion of the field that came around that lap 66, 67 mark get down to the apron, try and save as much fuel as they possibly can. As Jeremy Coors in the number 97 Ford F-150 will be your race leader on this restart. You've got one driver faking out the pit road. Excuse me. Lee came into pit stop on lap 76 as well. He's going to be hoping for another caution to try and get back on the lead lap here. 12 drivers on the lead lap. It's Coors, Bailey, McCauley, Johnson, Seaman, your top 5. Then you've got Ross, Carter, Olette, Millette, Page, Dargert, Curry rounding out the drivers on the lead lap. This is going to be quite the shakeup in the points. We're going to keep an eye out and see if Coors and Bailey can hold on to it. Their saving grace is, I think, that no one took tires right behind him that's still on the lead lap. So everybody roughly on the same tire strategy here. You may have 1 or 2 drivers in that mix of top 10 that may have taken rights. We're going to get them re-racked for the first restart of the night. Jay Dargert showed involved in an incident. Not quite sure what that was. Maybe he checked up to allow another driver by. We'll get keep a peek on that and see if we can get a replay here after the restart. But it'll be 21 laps left to go and possibly a final shootout. As it is Coors and Bailey starting on the front row. The pace car comes in. And away they go for the first restart of the night. Looks like everybody got through turn 1 relatively smoothly. Coors with a great launch. Now, who's got to be upset about this is McCauley, who had about a 10 or 12-second advantage over the entire field. We're going to go on board with Chad Ross and watch the side-by-side action in front of him. McCauley trying to make that number 62 machine 3 trucks wide the block. Johnson and Bailey to keep them making their way around. Now, we know McCauley has the long-run speed. He's got the pit strategy, but now we're in kind of shootout conditions here. Johnson easing up the inside of McCauley in his number 39 Makoni back Toyota Tundra. Now we say it every week, cautions breed cautions. You get guys on mixed tire strategies, guys that are willing to sit it in the closing lap to try and gain a few more spots. If we're going to see any more cautions, it's definitely going to be late in the race as Michael J. Johnson has a big blink in the number 39 machine as he is trying to push Jeremy Coors, your race leader. A whole lot of fast talent up here in the top 5. Johnson looking to the inside of your race leader Coors, going across the tri-oval. He's going to dive in deep into turn 1 to try and take the lead from Coors. Will he be able to slide out and throw a block on Coors as they go down the backstretch, or is he going to be glued to the inside line, having to use a little bit more tires and unable to carry as much momentum? He's not quite clear of Coors yet. It's Johnson, Coors, McCauley, all in a tight pack coming out of turn 4. They hint it. There we go. We got it fixed back in time. It's still Johnson out front. McCauley second. Bailey running third. Coors fourth. Carter rounds out our top 5. We'll pull up the live timing tower on the left side of your screen to give you an idea where your favorite driver is after that unexpected commercial break. It's what we're going to call it anyway. And not much separating your top 5 drivers here. Johnson, McCauley, Bailey, Coors all running nice and tight. As Bailey's going to try and take over another spot from McCauley in the closing laps. 10 laps left to go. Johnson holding on to it. McCauley, after his extended lead, can't be happy about that caution late in the race of the number 62 machine. Still sitting in third, but he's got pressure as Bailey has been charging hard, as well as Coors, the number 97 machine. 8 laps left to go. Not a lot of time nor tires left for these guys. The traction is going to be really hurting. They're all 1 second off their fastest lap of the race late in the run. Michael Johnson looking good. He's got about 3/10 advantage over second place Bailey. And now the big question, who's going to have any tires left at the end of this? Got our good friend Larry Fulcher joining in as well tonight. Great seeing him. Watching his race escapades. We normally tune into his stuff every Tuesday and cheer him on. Johnson still out front. Only 12 drivers on the lead lap. 7 laps left to go. Will we make it till the end? Caution free. 6 laps now as Johnson crosses the line. Tyler Millett, number 27 machine, currently running 11th, battling hard with Jay Dargan, number 57 machine. You've also got John Olette trying to catch up to Stephen Page. Page is up 11 spots here today, having a great stroke of racing. And they're in a nice tight pack with Chad Ross, Stephen Page, John Olette, all running together in a 3-pack of trucks, running 7th, 8th, 9th. Bailey's last time by, an identical lap time, was Michael J. Johnson, both clicking off 31.68. We'll see what it is as they cross the line the next time by, because only 0.3 of a second separating your race leader, Johnson and Bailey. A lot of drivers looking for their first win so far of segment 3. Now Johnson had a win back at the Darlington, Michigan doubleheader night on September 20th, where he won Darlington, and it was McCauley who won at Michigan that very same night. McCauley, who, if we went green the entire way, was our odds-on favorite to win it, but now he's bumped off the podium as Jeremy Coors takes over third place. And this is the battle for the lead between Johnson and Bailey. Bailey looks to the inside line of Johnson. Will he have enough tires to make it stick with 3 laps left to go? Generally, you do not want to be the leading truck on the final lap. But Bailey is going to get ahead of Johnson here and stretch his legs ever so slightly. Johnson falls off about a half second behind your race leader. And he's going to have a lot of company from Jeremy Coors here in the closing laps. Just out of the right side of your screen now is Matt Lee in the 04 machine. He is out of the race pretty much. He's a lap down, but he does have a teammate, Jeremy Coors. He may come up and try and give a shove to push that number 97 machine into a second place spot. Coors looks to the inside of Johnson at the final lap. Bailey comfortably out front with an 8/10 advantage. Here comes Coors to the inside in turns 3 and 4. Gonna try and pick up a second place finish here. Will Johnson be able to work the side draft? I don't think he will be, as they almost make contact as they cross the line. It is going to be Bailey, Johnson, and Coors here for Texas. A great run from all of our drivers. As we're going to try and get our drivers up into the podium room for their interviews. And Tristan Bailey is going to burn it down here at Texas in the number 24 Chevrolet. Excuse me. Now, I'm not sure if Bailey's had a win here yet. We're going to have to check on the stats. And no, this will be Tristan Bailey's very first win at the FEG PC Truck Series from what I can tell. His most recent best position was a 5th at Las Vegas, so he's going to burn it down in style. With a very well-deserved burnout here today. We are still waiting on Jeremy Coors, as well as Michael J. Johnson. And up first, we're going to get Jeremy Coors hanging out with us in the number 97 machine, the Ford F-150. Jeremy, great race out there. Did you expect to find yourself on a podium finish as this night was starting off?
Yeah, I definitely think I had the speed here. I really do. We were kind of saving a lot of fuel there, playing the strategy game, and then the strategy killers came out and brought out the caution. So I didn't pit out of that. So tried to take the track position, missed my corner. They kind of all got around me there. So my game plan after that was just to save as much tire as I could and try to pass them.
Now, Jeremy, you talked about the wrench in the plans. Did that caution really hurt you in the number 97 machine, or how did it affect your race late in the run?
Yeah, definitely. I think Cody definitely. I mean, I won't speak for him, but I think he was going to have to pit based on when he went in. My spotter was telling me when he went in, and I think that he was going to have to, or he was going to run out, or he was going to have to save a lot. So it was going to be interesting. I think I was in the best position there. But hey, man, I can't argue with a P2 out of it. So I will absolutely take it.
P3 maybe, Jeremy?
P3.
Okay, I was making sure
no,
I wasn't messed up with the broadcast.
No,
Looking at live timing.
P2.
Looks like
P2.
So on my end it shows Johnson getting second by 0.02 of a second.
Interesting. Yeah, well, it showed me P2 on my iRacing, so we'll blame Race Labs.
Fair enough. Jeremy, great run tonight, especially the number 97 machine, putting it on the podium. I know you formed up that team, I think, with Lee here this season. You guys are always running great. Before I let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout-out to or maybe a thanks that's supporting you and the team this season?
Definitely Martin Sports, best sponsor in the business, best sim racing gloves out there. MartinSports906.com. Go get you a pair. Brand new designs just dropped. Martin Sports for sure. McConey Setup Shop, along for the ride as always. Just everybody who's out there supporting, everybody who's watching the stream, and shout out to you, man, putting on a great broadcast as usual.
Jeremy, my absolute pleasure, man. Again, congratulations on a podium. We'll figure out where on the podium it is after the race, I suppose, but great racing here tonight.
All right, take it easy.
Up next, we've got Michael J. Johnson. There we go. We got Michael J. Johnson, number 39, Toyota Tundra. Now, Michael, it shows us as you finishing second. Is that what it shows on your end as well?
No, it shows I'm P3 in here.
Very odd. So I guess the broadcast software is saying something different. So I'm not quite sure what the running order is tonight between you and Coors. We'll have to check that post race. But you guys ran great in the number 39 machine, having a good clean race all night long. Now on lap 76, you came in. Was that just the fuel stop, or were you able to squeeze on 2 tires during that as well?
No, that was just a little splash of fuel. I was out of tires.
Gotcha. Well, Michael, how did that late race caution affect you? Were you going to be able to make it till the end on that tank, or was it going to be dangerously close?
It's going to be close. I'm not sure if we were going to be able to make it or not. I was in turn one. I was cutting the engine off every lap, trying to squeeze out a little fuel to make it to the end.
So with that being said, and how dangerously close it was that caution a bit of reprieve for you, or were you hoping it was going to run green and see where everybody else gambled his fuel?
I I was wanting to run out just see how it worked out because I put in that work to save the fuel, so I was wanting to see how it would work out for us.
Well, Michael, a great job out there tonight. I guess we'll have to look at the post-race results and see exactly where you finished and see where the points are going to be held. But another great run as always. Before we let you sign off, who would you like to give a shout out to that's supporting you in that Toyota Tundra this season?
We got McConey set up shop on the truck, and then all the guys at Keeping It Real Esports.
Awesome. Michael, always a pleasure talking to you. Always a great racer out there, keeping it nice and clean, and hope to see you do well throughout the rest of segment 3.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. And up next, the man of the hour, Tristan Bailey, in the number 24 machine. Tristan, how are you feeling, man? I believe that's your first win. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's my first one in here.
Well, congratulations, man. Welcome to the Dysfunctional Winners Club we have here at FEG Now, Tristan, you showed your last pit stop at 66. How close were you on fuel there at the end here today?
I crossed the line with 0.8, 0.7 gallons left.
I'm no mathematician, but that's not a lot of gallons, my friend.
That's one extra lap. That's all it is.
That's
It's one extra
then.
lap.
Yeah, that's enough time for a victory, burnout, and everything. You're looking good. Now, Tristan, were you was that caution a little bit of a reprieve for you, or was that a bit of a monkey wrench in your plans here tonight, number 24?
Well, I'm kind of actually glad that caution came out because I don't know why I thought this, but I thought we had to pit 3 times, and I thought we only had two sets of tires. So I was saving tire after that first pit stop because I thought we had to do 3 pit stops. Then I finally realized that halfway through the run, oh wait, there's only 2 stops you have to make. So I sped back up. I caught back up to I think like the 5th place spot, 2nd or 3rd, 4th, somewhere in there. And I went to pit. I forgot to check my tires back, so I took the fuel, had to recheck the tires. I came out, put tires on. Then I finally got to leave pit road. So actually, that caution, if anything, I think it saved my life. So.
Well, Tristan, glad the racing gods smiled in your favor here in the number 24 machine. I believe your most recent finish or highest finish was the 5th place earlier on in segment 3. Were you feeling pretty good coming into Texas? Is this a track that you're a big fan of, or what was the thoughts coming into tonight?
Actually, I really don't like this track. I really don't. It's just, I don't know what it is about it here on the sim, but I don't agree with how it, I guess, reacts to the cars and stuff. I mainly run Xfinity cars here, so this is like only my 2nd time ever running truck. So it's kind of a learning curve for different how they drive. I did something different. I actually started braking and went into it at the start of the run and kind of all the way through the run to try to save tire, and it seemed like it helped a lot in that last run there.
Well, you looked good out there, man, picking up the very first win. Quite the victory burnout. Now, Tristan, before we let you sign off and celebrate, who would you like to give thanks to? Fans, family, friends, sponsors that's helping you out this season?
Shout out to you for broadcasting, and also the TJ's Team Foundation, www.morethanthecape.org. It's a foundation for kids that have cancer and stuff like that. They try to help them through it, like sending toys and stuff to them during the time in the hospital. And then my buddy Brad Herman, who was in here, who did the same thing I did, but ran out of gas going on pit road on the last stop, so it kind of screwed him over. But oh, and also Michael Kinsley for the paint. If y'all wanna know about the paint, how to get a paint made, just hit me up and I can get y'all to him.
Well, Tristan, well done tonight, man. Picking up a very well-deserved win at what kind of ended up being a wild race. And, again, we're congratulating you the best we can and hope to see you do well in the rest of segment 3, my friend.
Thanks, man.
And before I let everybody go, we're going to take a look at that finish once more from up here in the broadcast booth and see who got it down at the line between Johnson and Coors, as we're going to really slow down this time. And we're going to take a look. This is for the finish between second. Now, my broadcast software shows Johnson just ahead at the line. But as you heard those competitors say, they were thinking it got taken by Coors at the very end. As let's see from here, it definitely looks like it was Coors' nose that will cross first. Yeah, that's going to be Coors by a country mile, as the kids say. Try and get one more shot, see if what the best angle is going to be. Yeah, that's going to be Jeremy Coors takes over second place. Not sure why it shows Johnson was second on my point of view. We're going to watch that one once more from our FEG PC Skycam. Yeah, that was Coors all day right there. So very odd, a bit of a glitch in the matrix, but Jeremy Coors will bring home a well-deserved second here today. Great racing all the way around from our competitors, and a good, clean racing. Only one caution here tonight, but it was Tristan Bailey picking up his first win and the number 24 at the FEG PC Truck Series. As always, if you're looking for a custom-built sim rig or desktop solution, check out our good friends at FEGPC.net. And as always, thank you so much on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, spending your Monday night with us here in the booth. We hope to see you same time, same place next week, and we wish you all a great evening. Have a great night, everyone.